Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of my HB vs Noise playthrough. If you haven't watched the first part, you must watch it because this is a continuation of the previous video. We will start midway into the game. For those of you who cannot recall what happened, we are stuck in this board state where I am 2 points up. We are more than halfway through my deck, but the current score only has 1 agenda point in both score areas combined because a lot of agendas are hiding in my hand. There are 4 agenda points in archives and my R&D is pretty loaded. That being said, I do have a pretty well defended set of centrals and a nice scoring remote which has an Eve in it. I really need the Eve in the scoring remote because I am dirt poor. I need to get a credit foothold before I can even think of scoring agendas, and this is bad because Noise has his econ engine and draw engine up, Faust is up, which means he can get through any server he wants and begin milling me out. This is especially so because he's now performing a run on archives to steal my 4 agenda points and has run into my Eli on second click. Okay, so he actually jacked out of the archives run, which made me wipe the sweat off my brow. That close to stealing 4 points for virtually no effort, considering that there are only 2 face down cards in archives. I think that's why he jacked out. There were only 2 face down cards and he didn't know they were both agendas. Had there been more cards in archives, I wouldn't have been so lucky. But lucky or not, I only have 1 Jackson Howard left and 2 team sponsorships to recur those agendas. So I'll be looking for those recursion cards. Team sponsorship is really good against Noise, if I can actually score an agenda. I do get an Eve going. That's pretty good news. So I know that there's a Turing on top of the Turing that's protecting the Eve, and I want to protect it at all costs. So I install the next silver on archives. Well, this is to deter any archives runs because I know that at this point he's going to continuously mill me out, so I need to protect archives. I'm pretty sure my remote is well defended. Or not actually. He does make a first click run against my Turing remote, and this is bad news because he can actually click through the first Turing, unload data sucker on the second Turing, and get through my Eve. And yes, he has more than enough money to trash it, so maybe I really should have protected my remote more, but I can't. There's nothing that I can do. Look at, I have 0 credits, I cannot res any other ice, I cannot protect my remote with any more ice. I could have purged virus counters, but that wouldn't have given me enough money to res the second Turing. So either way I was screwed. The Eve was dead, all but dead. Maybe I shouldn't have res the Eve, maybe. Alright, well, mistakes were made and I'm back to 0. I have no money. I'm just gonna click for credits every turn and install something because I'm HB. So at least I'm getting that amount of efficiency, but I am very far behind this game. I'm nowhere near scoring an agenda anytime soon, let alone surviving the Noise mill. I'm gonna get milled up pretty soon. I'm halfway through my deck and he hasn't installed the bulk of his viruses yet.
To be fair, I got a lot of money, but he just manages to get a reward.
Yeah, this is a problem. I am stuck with 2 unscorable agendas from my hand because he's so rich now. The NAPDs don't really defend themselves anymore. The only point of solace here is that my 2 key centrals are very well defended. Architect is not something you want to run through. He's doing it right now and it's not worth it, I tell you. He's trashing 3 cards just to see 1 card and get a sucker token. Not worth it. Even if it's for the NAPD, it'll slow him down even more. I'll be more than happy to entertain that. So yeah, he's playing very slowly now, which gives me a bit of breathing room, but I'm on 2 credits. I can't do anything here. Do I click for 3 credits? Do I draw a card? I can't really draw a card here. I need to click for credits. If I draw into an agenda, what happens? I can't do anything. So I believe I do click for 3 credits here, although it could be arguable that drawing a card is the right move. I did it, and guess what? I found the best possible I found the best possible card, which is Ash. Ash feigns as an agenda and gives me the credit, HB credit. So instead of clicking for 3 credits, I get 2 credits, which is good enough. And if I can bait him into running my Turing remote, I'm going to make him lose a lot of tempo for an Ash. That works out in my favor. Let's see if he is tempted into running my remote. Because there's no easy way for him to get through Turing. If he sacks his clone chip for David, I'm coming out ahead because that's 1 less clone chip that's used for Parasite. But he does use Deja Vu for Cash Parasite, standard combi, and that's not good for me. He's going to parasite the next Turing because Turings are very annoying. Good for him. I think I'm quite lucky this game. I actually found both Turings, and the only reason I include Turing in my deck is because it's so dang good against Anox in general. I mean, sure, it only costs 1 David token, but as you saw, I burned through all his David tokens on the last part 1 of the video.
That's the thing about HP. You can actually keep that
He attempts to run archives here to accumulate data sucker tokens. I say no. Here's the next silver, eat it. If you're spending your parasites on Turing, you're not gonna have parasites to deal with my next ice. You'll suffer for that. He could bring out a parasite with clone chip, but he's short on memory, no grimoire, no parasite. So I save myself for another turn there, and the Ash is protected for now. I draw to the next bronze. Again, I'm down to no credits because of rezzing the next ice. I think here I'm forced to install the bronze for a credit. Nope, I click for 3 credits and I decide to ditch the Toll Wolf because at this point it is becoming very apparent that I'm not going to get a credit foothold this game. Not enough to res a Toll Wolf. So forget about Toll Wolf, even though it's the best ice, even though I paid 2 credits, 2 influence for it per copy in my deck. It's not going to come up this game because my opponent did a very good job of denying credits throughout the game. Let me see if this is actually playing at full speed. Playback speed. I'll make it play faster. Okay. So he gets a grimoire going and a cache. So he finally finds his grimoire, which means he can now actually play that cache that he's been waiting to play for ages, because now he has the memory for it. I check my archives one more time, and yeah, there are still 4 agenda points in there. He also mills an Adonis campaign, which means I'm getting less and less money to play around with. Now, ABT goes in my remote, and I click for credits. Again, because I did such a decent job of securing my centrals between Architect and very well defended archives, it means that it cannot accumulate soccer tokens. In turn, that means that my Turing is going to stay on the board for quite a long time. Until now, he finds a Mimic. Great. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, so I dodge a bullet once again. He does not find the agendas in my hand. This is pretty key. Although it's little solace, because what he's looking for here is data sucker tokens, and he has quite a few credits to get through my Architect. Paying 2 credits per run through my centrals, that's more like it. That's what he wants to do. He finishes his 3rd run with 3 credits to go, which means he's forced to imp the NAPD he accessed because he doesn't have enough credits to steal it himself. So this means there's now 6 agenda points in archives. Once he has 4 credits or more, he'll get 6 points by running archives. He doesn't know it yet, but that's the case. Now he runs on my remote last click. Silver, Turing, the Turing is going to go down. I can't do anything about it because I don't run CVS in this deck. I took it out for Chrysium Grid, which is sitting on R&D doing absolutely nothing. I regret it so much. Do I res the silver here? If I res it, I know that it will be parasited down. But I do so anyway. The reason is pretty simple. Something has got to eat the parasites. This is the rationale of playing next ice. If you can recur it enough, you're going to outlast the number of parasites the runner has. And most importantly, the main thing here is to drain him 2 credits. I'm hoping that he'll bring a parasite out instead of discarding to Faust. This will bring him down to 1 credit if he decides to parasite my silver, which he does. Perfect. This means that he cannot trash Ash. I res Ash, I trace him, that's the end of it. No second words, there's no getting in. He can get in next turn and steal my ABT. Of course he doesn't know it's an agenda, but he can get in next turn by e-swapping his data sucker, or rather his imp, his depleted imp, and going for my remote. So I need to defend it with next bronze. Same token, I just drew into an Adonis, I'm placing it in the new remote. I doubt he's going to trash the Adonis since it's unres, but he finds the cash, so now he has money to do so. Pretty bad news. Yep, and he checks the remote, and he sees the Adonis. I really want to get the Adonis off, it's not happening today. But he doesn't trash it. For once, he doesn't deny my economy. Maybe I do stand a chance. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Does he want to trash my Adonis? It makes a lot of sense too, because he can pawn the cash next turn for 3 credits anyway. No, he chooses to go for my Ash, and I say no. You have to pay 1 card to get in and trash the Ash. So he plays another imp. Well, I check his hand and I realize he has 2 cards left. He has nothing left in his stack. He only has 2 cards in hand. I've calculated, and looking at his heap, I see 2 Deja Vus and 3 Clone Chips.
He's gonna run HQ.
He is out of cards. He cannot use Faust.
Really wish I could find it.
The game might be back in my favor. Oh great, medium. That's not good. Medium's here, and I'm forced to rest something. Now here is the awful part. I can't rest both Eli and Christian Grid. I can only choose one. I can choose not to rest either. That would be very stupid because I'll give him 3 free R&D runs, which would probably win him the game. So I need to rest something here. I choose the Eli because Christian sucks. He has more than enough money to trash the Christian, and it doesn't really stop him from locking my R&D anyway. Not with the amount of credits he has. Christian Grid is useless.
That's not me.
Done useless. Why did I even include it in my deck? That should be a CVS. If that's a Cyber deck, things would be so different. So yes, Eli is a bad ice here at this point. I really wish he was a Nyx Silver instead. Because with Eli, he can click through it every single turn and accumulate medium counters. I can't do anything about that. Even though he cannot use Faust because he's out of cards, he can just hit R&D every single turn, clicking through Eli every single time. And of course, resing Eli means I'm not able to rest my Adonis, I can't get money. He plays Deja Vu, retrieves Parasite and Cash. Very surprising move here. I would have thought he would run R&D this turn. Just keep hitting R&D, accumulating medium tokens. Instead, he goes for HQ, which is pretty smart. There are 2 agendas in hand. He finds another NAPD. This one he's stealing, and this puts him on match point because there are 6 agenda points in archives, 2 in his score area. He's gonna win. I can't do anything about that, but I do know I have 1 Jackson Howard left in my R&D. He still hasn't milled my final Jackson Howard, so I take a risk here. I hope to draw the 1 in 6. I don't find it. I find team sponsorship. That's just as good. If I can score the ABT, which is still sitting in my Ash remote, I'll score it next turn, and I'll use it to retrieve an agenda and place it in my Ash remote. That sounds like a plan. I'm just hoping he doesn't run archives next turn. The next silver should defend me long enough unless he does this exact line of play. Install Parasite and run archives, clicking through Eli with no clicks left but 5 credits to steal 6 agenda points worth of agendas to win the game. He had the foresight to make this play, which is very smart. What he could have just as easily done was to spend click 1 to check my remote, because he has to suspect that it might be a Jackson Howard. If he spends his first click checking the remote, there is no way he can get through my archives. Remember, Faust is invalidated now because he doesn't have enough cards to break through. He only has 1 card left in hand. No, he has no more cards left in hand, I think. Yes, he has 0 cards left in hand. This means that he can no longer break through next bronze. He can no longer break through next silvers. All I need to do is to place another Eli on R&D, and he cannot do anything for the rest of the game. Because he's out of cards, he cannot mill my viruses. Mill by viruses. Let's rewind this video a bit. This was the board state. Notice he has no cards left in hand, no cards left in his stack. This is an end the run, next bronze. Next bronze ends the run. He could get through HQ and steal agendas. But as long as he cannot run archives, I had the game, because I could just keep scoring agendas in the Ash remote. He has no solutions because I actually decked Noise. Read that, I actually decked Noise. I still have 4 cards left in my deck, one of which is a Jackson Howard, which would prolong the game long enough for me to win. As long as I sealed up R&D and protected archives, I would have been good. Had this been a Jackson Howard, I think I would have won, because my next move would be to seal up R&D with double Eli. He cannot do anything about double Eli. Yeah, and also seal up HQ, I guess. Okay, so no, I don't even have to seal up HQ, because he cannot steal enough points from HQ to win. All I need to do is to just chain agendas in my remote until I win the game. Yes, I would have won if I saw a Jackson Howard. If that team sponsorship had been a Jackson Howard, I would have won. I would have shuffled the agendas back into R&D, and as I said, I'll lock up R&D for good. You very rarely see Noise mill himself faster than the Corp does. partially because I didn't spend too much time drawing cards, and also because I gave him a very, very hard time with all my sealed up centrals. Noise isn't very used to having such a difficult time. With double architect so early, he cannot parasite anything for the most of the early game. So what were my gameplay mistakes? I so far it's just bad draw luck that I'm blaming myself on. What can you see any mistakes I made throughout part 1 and part 2 of this playthrough? If you can, please leave a comment in the comment section. I would really love to improve my gameplay. I suppose Eli on R&D was a mistake. Should have been an next dice. Double Eli on Archives would have been better. Yes, I think so. Nick Silver and Eli should have been swapped around. Christian Grid, well, okay. Let's not talk about deck building choices. Christian Grid is pretty good against Criminal. I don't know. What else could I have done? I suppose put in more effort into protecting my econ assets. I don't know. Please leave a comment on how you think I could have improved my gameplay. Not my deck building, not my draw luck. Tell me how I can improve, how I could have made a better play. I would really love to hear. Thanks for watching. Happy net running, and I hope you enjoyed this. As I said, it's very unexpected endgame board state where I actually milled Noise out and he found himself with uh at a dead end. A very interesting game. Goodbye.